A boom like distant cannon fire rolls across a perfectly clear sky. No storm, no plane, and sometimes no explanation at all. Imagine you're standing outside on a calm, cloudless day. The sky is completely clear. And then, out of nowhere, you hear it. A deep, rolling boom, like a huge cannon fired somewhere just over the horizon. The windows rattle, car alarms go off. But there's no storm, no aircraft, nothing to see. People have been hearing this exact sound all over the world for centuries. And because they're heard everywhere, they've collected wonderful local names. In Bangladesh, near the Ganges Delta, British records from the 1870s called them the Barisal guns. Along the coast of New York and the Carolinas, they're the Seneca guns. On the Belgian and Dutch coast, they're mistpouffers, the fog belchers. And in Japan, umanari, the cry of the sea. Different centuries, different oceans, the same eerie boom. And here's the first real clue. Notice what nearly all those places have in common. Water. Skyquake reports cluster hard around lakes, coastlines, and river deltas. That's not a coincidence. Water and the air above it are very good at carrying sound a long, long way, bending it and funneling it so a noise made far offshore can arrive on land sounding like it came from directly overhead. So for a long time, this looked like one big unsolved mystery, one strange sound, one hidden cause waiting to be cracked. But when scientists actually started chasing individual booms, something odd happened. They kept solving them, just each time with a completely different answer. Take the most dramatic culprit, meteors. When a large space rock called a bolide slams into the upper atmosphere, it can explode miles up with the force of a bomb. That blast sends a genuine sonic boom rolling down to the ground. And here's the unsettling part. If it happens in daylight or above a layer of cloud, you get the enormous boom with absolutely nothing to see. The sky just detonates. Then there are the ones that come from below. A very shallow earthquake, too small and too close to the surface to really shake you, can still crack out a sharp, audible boom, like the ground clearing its throat. The US Geological Survey lists these plainly as one of the everyday sources people mistake for something stranger. But my favorite is the one almost nobody expects. Frostquakes. On a bitterly cold night, water that has soaked into the soil or the cracks in rock suddenly freezes, and water expands as it freezes. That expansion builds enormous pressure until the ground itself splits, with a crack as loud as a gunshot. Whole neighborhoods have been woken by their own frozen earth snapping apart beneath them. It even has a proper name. A cryosism. And sometimes the answer is almost boringly simple, but hidden by a trick of the air. On the right day, the atmosphere forms layers of warm and cold air that act like a lens for sound. They can grab the rumble of a thunderstorm sitting far below the horizon, a storm you cannot see at all, and bend it up and over, dropping it back down on you as a boom from a clear blue sky. In 2020, researchers at the University of North Carolina got a rare chance to actually measure some. Using a dense grid of ground sensors near Cape Fear, they caught the booms in the act, and the sensors showed something telling. There was no matching earthquake in the ground at all. Whatever these particular booms were, they had traveled to the sensors through the air, not through the rock. They were, genuinely, a sound from the sky. Which brings us to the real answer, and it's stranger than a single hidden cause. The mystery of the Skyquake was never one thing. It's that half a dozen completely different forces, a meteor, a tremor, freezing ground, a bent-over storm, all make almost exactly the same sound. So every time someone triumphantly solves a Skyquake, they've only ever solved that one. The next boom starts the whole detective story over again. And some of them have never been solved at all. The original Barisal guns and the classic Seneca guns have been booming away in the records for over a century, and nobody has ever pinned down for certain what makes them. The USGS says so, quite openly. For those specific booms, the honest answer is still, we don't know. So a Skyquake isn't a single secret waiting to be cracked. It's a whole gallery of the sky's loudest tricks, all wearing the same disguise. Some are meteors quietly exploding over your head. Some are the frozen ground tearing itself open. And a stubborn few are still, after 150 years, just the sky, refusing to explain itself. So no, you're not imagining it. The sky really does go bang for no visible reason. It just has more ways of doing it than anyone expected. That's one of the sky's loudest secrets, laid open. There are hundreds more of these little mysteries hiding in the most ordinary corners of the world, and we're working through every single one. Next time, we go back tens of thousands of years to ask whether the Neanderthals really vanished or whether they're quietly still here, inside us. Same channel, same little man, flinching at the sky.